transferred to Manchester United today.
Football predictions.
If Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football predictions.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose for another episode of the footballpredictions.net La Liga podcast, covering games for the 18th to 21st of October 2024. You can see the details for all the matches we're about to discuss on this podcast on the website, footballpredictions.net, of course, along with the fixtures from just about every other football competition in the world from A to Z.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as team news and match odds from local bookmakers.
Check out the description of this podcast and you'll find direct clickable links to all the matches we're about to discuss, some in detail and some just in brief. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus, gamble aware. Okay, first match we've got is Alaves, who are 13th in the table, versus Real Valladolid, who are down in 19th. It kicks off on Friday, the 18th of October at 8 p.m. UK time.
Yeah.
You can find your local kickoff time, game odds, and available broadcast streaming channels for this match on footballpredictions.net. This one you can watch on La Liga TV, Premier Sports Player, and it's being live streamed on Bet365. If you want to watch it there, subscription free, by the way, you can use our bonus code FP365. Now, these are two teams you might say are in a bit of bother at the minute.
Yeah, they really are, especially the visitors, Real Valladolid, because they have not been looking good since the first game of the season where they beat Espanyol 1-0 at home. Since then, it's actually become 2 draws and 6 defeats. They have now 3 defeats in a row in La Liga. So by no means a good statistics for them before going into this game. The most recent game, most recent games were 2 home games. It was against Vallecano and Mallorca, 2 defeats. And the most recent away game was at Sevilla in a game where we called both teams to score and Sevilla to win. In terms of Alaves, they're not looking that much better, although they did have a slightly better start to the season. They had 3 wins from their first 6 matches. However, you can also turn it around now and say the 4 defeats from the last 5, and they will be more concerned about the fact that they've got 3 defeats in a row. The most recent defeat was a 3-0 defeat at home to Barcelona in a game where we called Barcelona to win. Prior to that, they lost 2-0 away to Getafe. We had predicted under 2.5 goals and Getafe to win in that game. And when they played at Real Madrid, we predicted Real Madrid to win 3-1. It ended 3-2, but again, we had over 2.5, both teams to score and Real Madrid to win. In the away game prior to Barcelona and prior to these 2 away games at Getafe and Real Madrid, we actually did have the correct score prediction for the home game against Sevilla. We predicted 2-1 and it ended 2-1 in that game. And if we just take the home game against Las Palmas as well, we did actually predict Alaves to beat Las Palmas in that game as well. So yeah, at home, it's been a slightly different story than away from home for Alaves. They have picked up more points. That only defeat they have at home so far is against Barcelona, which you can probably forgive them for.
Yeah, and Real Valladolid, they're really on the slide at the minute. But to add insult to injury, they haven't won away from home their last 6 league matches, and they have not beaten Alaves away from home in their last 4. So they'll be keen to stop the run, but do we think they can? Well, unlikely. We've gone for an under 2.5 goals tip for this one. The odds of that you can get at 1.73. But we think Alaves will win, and you can get their odds on at 1.62, if you like, just to the win market. For a correct score, for slightly spicier odds, we've gone for 2-0 to the home side, and your odds there are 7 or 6-1. In our poll, just on the website, 67% of you believe that Alaves will win, 17% going for Real Valladolid, and the other 16% or so like a draw. So let's move on to the next game, which is Athletic Bilbao, who are up in 6th at the moment, who are taking on Espanyol, who are 14th. It kicks off on Saturday, the 19th of October at 1 p.m. UK time. For this game, you can go to our page on footballpredictions.net or you can just check it in the description. There's a link there, and you'll find your local kickoff time, local betting odds, and available viewing options. If you want to watch this game for free, you can sign up to Bet365 and watch it without a subscription. And use our bonus code FP365 if you're a new customer to them. Well, these teams kind of flipped their form in the last game, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Girona beat Atletico 2-1. But you know what? We actually called that result because we had Girona to beat Bilbao in that game. Mm-hmm. So that was a result that we called. Atletico Bilbao, their most recent home game, was in the Europa League. It ended in a 2-0 win against AZ, and we predicted that one to go down as a home win for Bilbao. In La Liga, the most recent game was against Sevilla, and that ended 1-1 in a both teams to score prediction from our side. In La Liga as well, the previous game to Sevilla was a home win against Celta Vigo, where we called the 3-1 result. We had it on the correct score, so we had 3-1 in that game. And prior to that, we also predicted Bilbao at Leganés to beat them 2-0, and they beat them 2-0. In terms of Espanyol, like, they got back on track against Mallorca most recently before the international break. They beat Mallorca 2-1. However, prior to that, they had 3 defeats in a row. And there was 3 defeats that we all called, by the way. We had all the outcomes of these 3 matches correct. Espanyol is very much a home team. They've won 3 out of 5 at home, and away from home, they're yet to win. They just picked up 1 point and scored just 1 goal going into this game at Bilbao.
Yeah, talking about that away record, Espanyol, they're not only without a win this season, but they're without an away from home win in the last 9 league games. So it's very poor from them indeed. And Athletic Bilbao are scoring some good goals, a number of goals, I should say. They've scored 10 in the last 6 and only conceded 5 goals. So, yeah, we'll see if that continues onto this game. But our tip for this one is actually under 2.5 goals. And your odds on that are currently 1.91. Check our website and you'll see what the latest odds are for you. As a full-time result prediction, we've gone for Athletic Bilbao to win. And they're pretty heavily favoured by the bookies because you can only get 1.45 odds on that one. But yeah, if you like a correct score prediction, we have gone for 2-0 to the home side, and you can get odds on that surprisingly low, really. I've only 6.5, but probably still worth a little nibble on that one. Poll on the website, the survey is 71% of you say Athletic Bilbao will win. 71%, only 11% like Espanyol to finally get an away win. But we're inclined to agree with the majority of you who believe that it'll be that a fairly comprehensive home win. Next up, we've got Osasuna, who are in 5th, taking on Real Betis, who are in 10th. This one kicks off on Saturday, the 19th of October at 3:15 in the afternoon, UK time, that is. And for this game, go to our page on footballpredictions.net so you can see your local kickoff time and betting odds, the predicted lineups, and all the stats, and how you can watch it. And this one, you can watch it on Bet365, of course, like all the matches in the league, in La Liga. Just use our bonus code FP365 if you're not an existing customer. And Moose, Real Betis have gone into, well, let's not say they've gone into a bad form, but they've lost their last couple. But one of those was, unfortunately, in the Conference League.
Yes, and it also has to be said that away from home, Real Betis are, apart from in the Conference League, it was in a qualifier, they had a win early in the season, but actually in the group stage, they lost at Legia Warsaw 1-0, and he also lost 1-0 most recently in La Liga to Sevilla. And away from home, so far this season, Betis only scored 1 goal and picked up 2 points. However, at home, that's where they've picked up the wins. But Betis is in general a low-scoring team. It's also a low-conceding team. They played 9 games, 8 goals scored and 8 goals against so far. So it's a low-scoring team. But they can sit pretty tight at the back. But yeah, most recently, the results have not really gone their way. And they seem to struggle when they go down with a goal. If we look at Osasuna, they've actually slightly different story to them this season. They've had a great start at home in the league, and most recently they beat Barcelona 4-2. Prior to that, they had wins against Las Palmas, Celta Vigo, and Mallorca. The most recent game was a draw at Getafe, where we did say under 2.5 goals. At Valencia, we also said under 2.5 goals. It ended a 0-0 draw. But yeah, overall, Osasuna is the informed team here of these two. However, it's just been international break, and maybe that's done Betis some favors.
Yeah, perhaps it has. It's a tricky one to call, we think, this one. I mean, Real Betis are without an away win from home in their last 6 matches, and Osasuna are actually unbeaten in their last 7 home league matches. So kind of that might tell you Osasuna might be the favoured ones in this game, and they probably slightly might be, but we are thinking it's probably probably going to be something where they're going to cancel each other out, and we're actually going for an under 2.5 goals game. Odds on that are 1.73 at the moment, so not too bad, but we think it will be a draw. Yeah, we are going for a draw. Odds on a draw are 3.4. And regarding the correct score, so we've said under 2.5, which means it could be a 0-0 or a 1-1 as far as we're concerned regarding if it's a draw. And we've elected for a 0-0, and odds on that are 9 or 8-1. Just looking at the poll, this kind of reflects what we're thinking. Very split. 38% of you think Osasuna will get the win. 34% think Real Betis will get the win, and the other 27% think a draw. So yeah, it's going to be. We think it'll be a close one, and that's what we are sticking by. Anyway, next up, in our last featured match, we've got Girona, who are 11th. We take on Real Sociedad, who are 15th in the table. This one is on the 19th of October, Saturday, at a 17:30 kickoff UK time, that is, at 6:30 in Spain. For this game, go to our page. It's in the description on footballpredictions.net, and you can find your local kickoff times, stats, predicted lineups, betting odds, and all the available viewing options, which does include Bet365, which is you can watch the game subscription free. Use our bonus code FP365 if you're new to them. Not many wins for these two in their last 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, really not. And that includes Europe as well, because Girona seems to be maybe struggling a little bit with life in the Champions League at the same time as managing their campaign in La Liga so far. Girona this season has only had, well, they've had 3 wins so far. They've had 3 draws and they've had 3 defeats. So it's been a pretty average start to the season for them. However, most recently, we did predict them to get back on track at home to Athletic Bilbao. We predicted Girona to win that game, and they won that game 2-1. If we look at the other games in the La Liga, the most recent ones, it ended in 2 draws, 1 away to Celta Vigo and 1 at home to Rayo Vallecano. So if we look at La Liga, no defeats in the last 3 for Girona. Looks like they're picking up a little bit of form at least, and that win just before the international break might have done them good, at least for the morale. Real Sociedad, before the international break, they had 3 home games. 2 in La Liga, 1 in the Europa League, and the most recent game in La Liga ended in a 1-1 draw at home to Atletico Madrid. It was a game that we predicted to be low scoring or under 2.5. In the Europa League, they fell to a defeat against Anderlecht, but we did say that was going to end with both teams to score, and it ended 2-1 to Anderlecht. And then just to wrap this one up for Sociedad at home, they beat Valencia 3-0 just before they had that game against Anderlecht, in a game where we said it was going to end with a Sociedad win and also for them to keep a clean sheet. We said 2-0. But yeah, and in the first game in Europa League, they had a 1-1 draw at Nice. And we actually thought they were going to lose that one, but the main prediction for that game was both teams to score. And at Real Valladolid, because why we're going back to these games is because the Real Valladolid game on the 21st of September, so this is almost a month ago since Real Sociedad last played away from home in the Liga, and it was at Real Valladolid, and in a game where we had under 2.5 goals, and it ended 0-0. So yeah, it's a look. These teams, both of them, have only got one win from their last 6. When we look at the most recent games, and yeah, it seems to be like it's going to go down as a fairly even game.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. And also, these two don't often keep a clean sheet. So we do think it'll be a scoring game. So we've gone for both teams to score. And the odds on that are 1.95. So pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a result, we can't find one. So we've gone for a draw. And obviously, draws are quite nice in terms of the odds. And on this one, you can get 3.4 for a draw. For a correct score prediction, we have gone for 1-1. And if you like the odds there, they are 6.5. Now, regarding our user poll, where you get to vote on the website, and we don't vote, it's just about people who come on the site. 32% of people think Girona will get the win, 25% Sociedad, and a whopping 43% of others like a draw. So most people think a draw for this game. 32% score draw, 11% 0-0 draw. We think score draw. So it actually turns out to be the most popular selection amongst you anyway. So that's quite a good, interesting turnout. Now, the rest of the games we're obviously going to do in brief. So we've got Celta Vigo, who are in 9th, who take on Real Madrid in 2nd, which kicks off on Saturday, 19th of October, 8 p.m, late one. And for this one, you can watch it on Bet365. It's being live streamed from them, subscription free, and you can use our bonus code FP365. We have gone for both teams to score for this game, and which it might surprise some people, but we think Celta Vigo will score. So both teams to score, and a correct result of Real Madrid winning 2-1.
Yes, and then we move on to Mallorca, who takes on Rayo Vallecano, and they do so on Sunday, the 20th of October at 1 o'clock in the afternoon UK time. And this is another game that you can watch live on Bet365 using that bonus code FP365. And for this game, we've gone with another under 2.5 goal prediction, and we're going to go also with a home win of 1-0 to Mallorca.
Yep. And for the next game, which is Atletico Madrid, who are 3rd, who take on Leganés in 17th. That one kicks off on Sunday, the 20th of October. It's an afternoon game, 3:15 in the afternoon, PM, UK time. Another one you can stream live on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365 if you didn't know already. For this one, we have gone for an over 2.5 goals game. We think there'll be goals in this one, but we think they're only going to come from one side, Atletico Madrid, that is. And we've gone for a correct score prediction of 3-0.
Moving on to Villarreal in 4th, who takes on Getafe in 16th. They take on Getafe on Sunday, the 20th of October. And this is a 5:30 kickoff if you're based in the UK, that is. It's another game you can watch live and for free on Bet365 with a funded account, and do use that bonus code FP365 on sign up. For this game, we're going with a both teams to score prediction and a real Villarreal win of 2-1.
Yep. Next up, we've got the mighty Barcelona, who are top of the table, taking on Sevilla, who are 12th. It kicks off on Sunday, the 20th of October at 8 p.m. UK time. Another one you can live stream on Bet365. Use our bonus code FP365. And as you can imagine, there's probably only going to be one winner in this one. We have actually gone for an over 2.5 goals game again here. And we've gone for a correct score prediction of Barcelona 3, Sevilla 0.
Yet, and to wrap up this game round in the La Liga is two teams at the bottom half, well, in the relegation zone, actually. It's Valencia in 18th, and they take on Las Palmas, who are bottom of La Liga currently. This game kicks off on Monday, 21st of October at 8 o'clock UK time. A game that you can watch free and live with a funded account on Bet365 using that bonus code FP365 on sign up. And for this game, we're going with a under 2.5 goal prediction and a Valencia win of 2-0.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning if you are going to be watching any of these matches on Bet365 that geolocation and live streaming rules apply, 18 plus, gamble aware, and use our bonus code FP365 if you haven't already got an account.
Yes, and in the description area of this podcast, you'll find links to the games that we just covered, or simply head to the footballpredictions.net website. Once there, you can browse the online places to see the games from your location via streaming and TV channels, our predictions for different betting markets, team news, plus the best offers and odds.
Yep. Also know that we record these podcasts across several competitions in addition to this one, and you can listen to them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net or where you normally source your favorite podcasts from, like YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening. And for now, it's
Adios.
adios.
A football prediction.